This is exactly what Devil fans wanted to hear. This is huge. Growth isn't always easy, sometimes difficult, but a lot of the times beneficial. Let's talk about it. Welcome in to Devil's Digest. All the latest news, updates, and rumors regarding the New Jersey Devils. Offseason coming around. We want you all here. 47% of you aren't subscribed. We want all 100% as we get into the offseason. Look, we know today Tom Fitzgeralds and Sheldon Keefe spoke to the media talking about the season, what's ahead, players. Just did a video on kind of the plan going forward for New Jersey, what they're looking to do in this offseason. But as I said, they also talked about some players. One of the players who I think a lot of people find intriguing, want to know a little bit more about what's up next, what's the plan, because Devils can go in a few different directions. Simone Nemec. Here's Tom Fitzgerald's take on Simone Nemec's season. It's bright for sure. The way he played for a lot of last year was encouraging. The injury this year was eye-opening for him. Now, we remember when the year started. Nemec, battling for a roster spot, potentially making the team. Devils made a few ads on defense during the summer. Nemec, a former top pick. Injury definitely set him back. Wasn't in the starting unit to start the season. Had to fight for ice time. Had to fight for time in the NHL in general. Felt like that kind of all season long. But we saw playoff times, injuries. Maybe we don't want to think about that as much with the injuries. But when the injuries happened and players had to step up, players had to play a little bit, maybe roles they weren't necessarily comfortable with, had to find a way to get comfortable. Simone Nemec played his best hockey of the season. And that says something. Because you look at Simone Nemec, younger player, didn't have a great year, a lot of pressure on him, put into a big role when he hasn't played a ton of the NHL this season. And for him to play the way that he did, play the minutes he was asked to do, play top power play, score an overtime goal to get the Devils their only win in that series, there's no way you can get around that and say it meant nothing. You could have went in there and said, hasn't had a great year, isn't doing what we've asked him to do so far, it looks a little dull so far. You could have said all that. You could have been disappointed. I'd find it really hard if you were being honest, if you said you were disappointed with the way Simone Nemec played in the playoffs. He was fantastic. Limited his turnovers, scored an overtime goal, took over the top power play unit. Like, he was asked to do a bunch, and he answered. Now, like I said, some of you, a little bit disappointed with how the regular season went. And I think if you asked Simone Nemec, he probably would agree. 27 games, 2 goals, 4 points, just under 15 minutes a game, minus 10. None of these numbers are going to stand out to you during the regular season. He probably wanted a little bit more. Tom Fitzgerald says here, there were a lot of times this year where, it was encouraging the way he was playing. And there were some good moments. I mean, he definitely was getting better as the year went on, but it felt like almost like when he took 1 step forward, it was 2 steps back. But then that kind of evened out. He started playing a lot better. He looked like he deserved another chance in the lineup. And, he said after that overtime game-winning goal, Game 3, I feel like my confidence is back. Well, younger players, that's a big thing. The NHL is a big mental part. There's a lot of mental stuff that goes into it. It creates prospects. It ruins prospects. They've never done this before, believe it or not. They've never been in the NHL. They've never played in front of these type of fans. They've never played with these type of skilled players. It's definitely different. You're a top pick. You're expected to produce quick. It's changed. We start seeing guys like Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews come in, dominate right away. And all of a sudden, our perspective what we expect changes. When somebody comes in and they don't play good right away, well, you start to question it. You start to put them down. Maybe not the way to go with things. And Simon Nemec, very good during the playoffs, felt his confidence was coming back. I mean, you look at all the draft picks that Tom Fitzgerald has made. There's one player who is definitely Tom Fitzgerald's pick, and that is Simon Nemec. The number one player expected to go that year, still on the board. Simon Nemec, maybe a little bit back. Devils just had a pretty bad year. Simon Nemec was not the safe pick right there. Like at number 2, when he's probably projected to go 5, 6, maybe 4. It definitely wasn't the safe pick. That was kind of, going out on a limb a little bit. Devils just had not a very good season. They don't have a good year that year. You wonder where Tom Fitzgerald is today. And Tom Fitzgerald says, settle down. I like Simon Nemec. I think we need to add a little bit more defense. This is what we're going to do. So Simon Nemec, out of every player, is going to get that extra chance. Like you saw him and Seamus Casey played during the regular season. Seamus Casey definitely had a better regular season. And it felt like every single time they tried to give Simon Nemec another chance. And you can go ahead and go, oh, well, that's unfair. He's not playing as well. Other player looks like he's developing a little bit better so far. No, it's fair. He was a second overall pick for a reason. The franchise thought he was the future. They think he can be that number 1 defenseman. Now, of course, you got Luke Hughes. Dougie Hamilton's still in the mix. But that's the type of upside you think he has. Maybe he's not the number 1, but he's on your top pairing and could be a number 1 on a few other teams. That's how they felt. That's why you take a player second overall, especially when the number 1 guy that season was still available. Now, Arizona went a different way as well, but my point stands. They wanted Simon Nemec. They drafted Simon Nemec. They want to give him an opportunity. That's what they did. Looking in total over the defensemen on this team. These are the guys who, have a chance, who you feel like they're going to make their top 6 out of next season. It's going to, get down a little bit. Obviously, guys like, Luke Hughes, Jonas Siegenthaler, Dougie Hamilton, Johnathan, Kovacevic, Brett, Pesce. A lot of those guys pretty much, most part, have their job locked up. Now, I know Fitzgerald did mention trade possibilities and things of that sort. But if it stays like this, these guys are locked up. Their contracts would just say that. Little, not as much leeway there. But, like I said, they want to give Simon Nemec opportunity. Simon Nemec in the playoffs looked phenomenal. So, going into this season, you're going to look for that next step. Does he continue to play like he did in the playoffs? Because if he does that and just keeps developing, Devils have exactly what they thought they had in Simon Nemec. A future top pairing defenseman, can play on the power play, not going to make as many mistakes, and is going to be impactful. That's why you draft players high. You don't draft them to be safe. No, you draft them to be impactful. Simon Nemec, impactful. That's what they want to see out of him. Now, I know, as the offseason goes around, is he going to be put into trade rumors? Yeah, probably. You just can't get away from those. That's what happens with top prospects when you're a contending team. It's just the way it goes. But if they don't trade him, and he's with the team next season, I think off of those, games in the playoffs, those 4 games he played, you feel a ton better than what he showed in the regular season. Showed a little bit more impactful. Did a little bit more, got a little bit more opportunity, power play time, more minutes, overtime game-winning goal, which was still awesome. So, good, encouraging thoughts from Tom Fitzgerald. You feel good with Simon Nemec. Where does he start during the regular season? Let me know down in the comments. Who do you want to see as defensive pairing? Let me know all that down below in the comments, or let me know any other Devil thoughts you guys might have. I'm open to all of it. Ears are open, eyes are open. Excited for the all season. Hope October gets here soon, though. We want you all here, though. So we're at 47% of you watching aren't subscribed. We want all 100% of you here and talking Devils, because that's what we do. That's what we like to do. It's what we enjoy. So let me know down below in the comments. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys really soon.